I'd like to give you a couple of tips on writing that first draft for your personal narrative. And it's going to be basically 4 steps. The first step is to decide on the story you want to tell. Well, you probably already have a person or subject in mind. Think small. I cannot tell you this enough. Don't get caught up trying to convey all aspects of someone's life or your life. You're not writing a novel. You're just creating a 2 to 4 minute digital story that recounts a personal tale and reveals a very small truth. So here is a list of kinds of digital stories that you can tell. A story about someone important, a story about an event in your life, a story about a place in your life, a story about what you do. Now, people like you can find value in your work, your hobbies, your social commitments, and you can weave a wonderful story from your experience. Recovery stories in which you share the experience of overcoming a tragedy, a challenge, or a personal obstacle is an archetype that always has the potential to move audiences. There's always the love stories, and we all want to know how someone proposed, how you met someone, how you experienced the birth of the first child, came to terms with the parent. Exploring these kinds of relationships helps affirm your own. And of course, there are discovery stories. These stories probe how we uncover a truth or learn how to do something. In addition to deciding on what story you're going to tell, you've got to gather your materials and start collecting memories. The most powerful images are often discovered during a treasure hunt in your family album, or in this case on your Facebook from a while back. Anything that holds emotional resonance. Don't think you've got to go out and visually capture a story with a camcorder or camera. Use what you have. Older found materials usually prove to pack more of an emotional wallop than new footage. Step 3 is the beginning to write your script. Start jotting down ideas, discuss your ideas with your friends, your family. Play out a rough story in your head first. Sketch out your script, and you'll soon, because you're going to soon record with your own voice. Resist the temptation to take the easy way out and create a story with only images and music. People want to hear your personal voice. Don't be self-conscious about how your voice sounds. We all think we sound odd on tape. So, draft a short script on a small moment in your life. And this is where you need to get personal. Forget everything you've been taught about using dispassionate, objective, authoritative, essay-like voice. This isn't an essay contest. People want to hear your voice. The story must be told from your point of view. Get out a draft, and all drafts are going to be lousy first drafts. Spill it out. Get the main elements of your story down, and then go back and edit later. Write short. Few words. You're going to have images that will reflect your story, but at the same time, I want you to use your senses and drill down and be specific on those details. Otherwise, your story is going to sound like someone else's story. Read your script aloud. We all hate to hear our voice, but read it aloud, and it should be conversational, plain English. Don't hold back. Be real. You need to catch an emotional depth. Sometimes that can only be achieved by revealing uncomfortable truths. Ultimately, however, it's up to you to make profound personal decisions about what material you want to share and with whom. Look for a narrative arc in your story. And we've learned about those in that other video that we've looked at. So even your 3-minute story has a beginning, middle, and end. The beginning tells the premise of your story. It sets up that dramatic tension that should hold throughout the story. The middle outlines conflicts along the way. And the end is your destination, revealing a small discovery, a revelation, or an insight. This is sometimes called the desire, action, realization model. But not by anyone we know. Well, will the guy get the girl? Will the hero prevail? Will the sleuth solve the mystery? With a 3-minute script, you don't have time to indulge in detours. So get to the payoff. Work on pace. Many consider pacing to be the true secret of successful storytelling. The rhythm and tempo of the story is what sustains an audience's interest. Experiment. Good stories breathe. They move along generally at an even pace, but once in a while they stop. They take a deep breath and proceed. Trust your voice. All of us have our own distinctive style of storytelling. Trust yours. And, of course, read your script to a friend when you think you've finished. Very often your confidant will point out your friend will point out glaring omissions. Help firm up the language of the passage and help identify your true voice. And finally, I just cannot tell you enough. Take risks and be vulnerable. Establish that connection. Make your audience root for you. You know, you are going to be the hero of the story, and you're going to go through many obstacles to get that insight at the end. So personalize the stories, and that is the key to connecting with your audience. Make it memorable. It's as important as establishing that connection. Stories can and often are about very small stuff, so long as the emotions involved are big. So deliver meaning. Stories are memorable patterns with meaning. And incorporate those 5 senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, sound. Drill down to that experience and make it yours.